Good evening and welcome everybody to yet another session of our practice development program. You would all be wondering what is this health all? So, basically, Aftal has become very popular and known to ophthalmologists, but we want to expand the scope of Aftal to any kind of medical practitioner because the concepts of business are same. Concepts which we are talking doesn't apply only to ophthalmologists, but it also applies to any kind of medical practitioner. So we wanted to reach out to all the other practitioners and then wanted to create this brand called as Health All. And Health All is of TAL for every specialist in a simple way. And thank you for joining on this Saturday evening. And I'm sure this 2 hour session is going to be very interesting for everybody. And let us make it a very interactive session. I don't want it to be like monologue and I thought because I know all of you, majority of you also know Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy, and we thought generally I converse with him maybe once in 2 days, and I thought let us have the same conversation between ourselves, so you can also be a part of this conversation. This is nothing like very formal kind of a program or anything. We can just think that all of us are sitting in a restaurant on a round table, and then we are discussing. And both me and Dharmendra sir will be leading the session. And so hopefully, I'm sure we will be able to drive through the concepts which we are trying to have today. And we have Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy, who runs two companies. He runs a company called Next Level Education, which is into education, financial education, and also he runs a company called Glosam Wealth, which is more into financial management services. And apart from being running these companies, he's a very good strategic thinker, and I think. He understands the business of medicine and about doctors, and he has a lot of doctors in his family. So his father-in-law is a very famous doctor in Odisha, and he also has majority of doctor clients also. And so I have known Mr. Satapathy sir for the last 1 year or so, and a very interesting person to interact with. And basically, I think I will bring you. I'm like a bridge between the medical practitioners and people like Mr. Dharmendra sir. So what are we trying to do today? So basically, it's going to be like a conversation between both of us. I will ask a few questions to sir, and then sir will explain. And maybe if you also want to pitch in, you can also get in between and ask your questions. So let us have it as informal as possible. And I just have a few slides just to make things interesting. So the first question is, what if everything we have been taught how to succeed in life was wrong? I think things like go to school, study, get a good marks, get a job, and become a specialist. All those things, whatever, because when we see people who have succeeded or people who have achieved, majority of them are broken away the conventional things. Like if you see the list of billionaires in the world, majority of them are born poor. They made money first time, and it's not that rich people become more richer. They clearly make this concept of if you're rich, you can become rich. But majority of the billionaires are not rich. Majority of them were born very poor, and then they are first time they made the money. So lot of these things which we conventionally think, like the backbenchers in the school, they will not come up in life. But after 20-25 years of our professional life, we understand that the backbenchers are the people who succeed in life. And next thing is, if you become a specialist, are you becoming successful? But what we see is a generalist is more successful. For example, MBBS doctors become more successful. They run hospitals. Or a general ophthalmologist is more successful than a specialist retina surgeon. And so a lot of things which we have thought how to succeed in life was wrong. And Dharmendra sir, what are your views on this? What if everything you have been taught how to succeed in life was wrong? Do you agree on this, and what are your views on this?
No, I am a very big proponent of this thought because I think we were always taught to be skillful as kids, and that was also right approach for that point in time. Okay, but over the years, what has happened is there is a concept called scaling up that has come. Okay, and when we talk about scaling up, when we say, how do you scale? What does it mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that you reach scaling. Of course, reaches stuff to many people. Okay, so you want to reach volumes, you can reach volumes. But earlier also people used to reach volumes. Okay, means like a Hindustan Lever and a Birla and a Tata, they would reach volumes. How would they reach volumes? They would reach volumes by creating a distribution network, which required a lot of money. And after you get your product to the villages and small towns, you need to do a lot of advertising. So again, you require money. So it was very clear that there was one set of people who were very rich and they were running businesses. And then there was another set who were employees. And at that time, there was another choice that you can become a practitioner and you're a skillful practitioner. And I think the medical practice got a lot of fillip at that point in time. It got very popular and people started becoming practitioners. But skill is something that has come in the recent past when the technology boom happened, when people started skill means that you can reach a lot of people at a very low cost. So you don't need to be a Tata or a Birla to reach the entire world. And if you see today, companies like Zerodha, okay, these companies, like what Sir said, even people who are not so well-to-do have become extremely, extremely rich because suddenly reaching the world has become very, very easy. So that is one thought you should keep in mind that my business, when you think about your business as a practice, you have to ask three questions. Does it have margins? Does it have very high margins? If it has very high margins, good. To some extent, it's good. You can become rich. Second question is, does it have a scale? Okay, is it possible to reach a lot of people? Okay, can I reach a lot of people? And how to reach a lot of people? And third is the people I reach need to buy volumes of what I want to give. So if any of these things, if you have very high volumes, it's good. You have very high margins, it's good. So any business that has two of these three things going in their favor is supposed to be a very big business. So what I have realized is, as a kid, the person who knew how to get work done out of others, okay, today is a successful person. So we always think that doing the work very well ourselves is what will take us to the path of wealth. But what is really coming out over the last so many years is people who know how to get things and work done out of others. So it is that others that play a very big role. And therefore, I often believe that a lot of backbenchers and people who are really not scoring very well in colleges, they learned how to get work done out of others. And those are the guys who really succeeded. So this is my point of view on this particular aspect. And it'll be nice to have some of the doctors to comment on it, because I think we are all observers of the world. Nobody is out of this thing. If we just close your eyes and observe the world, and you will see what is happening, how things have changed, how things were in our childhood. There were only top industrialists who made the money. Everybody else was an employee or a practitioner. Today, you have another set of people making tons of money, and they are neither very rich nor they have rich parents.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think it was a very interesting thought. Basically, why I posted this question was to initiate the thinking process, because we have this thinking that, okay, life is like this. If I study, I can do well. Or if I don't suffer in earlier age, then I can do better. Like on the contrary, I think there is a famous quote which says that suffering leads to greatness. The earlier you suffer, I think it leads to more greatness. So, lot of things which we conventionally believe to be true, that these are the things which we are needing to succeed in life. Actually, is when we reach a stage after 20 years, 30 years of professional life, we understand that majority of the things are wrong. I think during this next 1.5 hours, what are all the points or what are all the things which we thought were right is actually wrong is what we are going to discuss. So let me start with a story like this was told by Charlie Munger. So Mozart, this young man who is around 22 years old, he went to Mozart, the musical prodigy, and asked him like, "Can you teach me how to write a symphonies?" Then immediately Mozart answered that, "Oh, you are too young. You are too young to write a symphony, and I cannot teach you." Then he asked, like, "Oh, but you started writing symphonies when you were 10 years old, and I am 22 years old. Why are you telling me that I am too young for learning a symphony?" Then Mozart answered that I never went to anybody to ask how to write a symphony, meaning he learned everything by himself. So what I'm trying to drive is that nobody can teach you how to do things, but maybe there is a Chinese proverb which says like that the teachers can only show you the way or show you up to the door. It is for you to enter into that and then explore the opportunities. And so this is a very interesting story by Mozart as to how you can actually think and it is basically you have to do things and on your own and nobody can teach you how to do. And there is also another interesting story of Mozart where I don't know, Mozart died when he was 35 years old and he was broke. He was financially very poor, had a lot of debts and he died with no money with him because of two things. I think one thing he spent lavishly. Mozart was not thinking about financial planning or anything and he spent a lot of money and he spent lavishly. So somebody like Mozart who could earn so much of money and who had that kind of a popularity, but it was very surprising that he also died. So are we as doctors, how many of us are earning a decent money? And I think there was a statistics which says that doctors die young. At least Indian doctors die a little earlier than normal population. And at least are the doctors financially strong before they die? And a doctor can also be compared to Mozart, Mozart, the musical prodigy, but doctors do the surgery and treat patients. So these two stories keep let us think a lot of things about the way we should also lead our lives. Your views, sir, on these two stories?
Yeah, so obviously the story is about a very skillful person who learned everything himself. So he told his friend that I did it myself. I didn't go to anybody. But despite having all the skills, I think because he didn't manage his money well, and that affected his life. So very clearly, I would like to add something more to the discussion also, like in continuation to what I started with. That see, if you say that check your business, you have whether you have margin, whether you have volume, whether you have scale. Now, let's say you are a doctor over there and you realize that I don't have very high margins because I can only charge what the market charges. My volumes, my scale is limited to my own area and my own practice where I am. And obviously, I cannot have the same patient coming every month. My job is to treat him. Now, when you analyze it, you might see that, look, in many of the parameters, I'm not there. So now what is it? Should I give up? Should I feel I made the wrong choice? Or is there a solution? So the point is, when Health All with Dr. Senthil and I, we are associated, our whole intention is to provide you alternate solutions. And sir, there are many, many solutions, and you can be part of uh, even low margin, high scale, and high volume businesses. Okay, it doesn't have to be that. See, the problem is when we focus too much on skill, it all boils down to what I can do. When I go, what I can do. When I meet a patient, what I can do. Okay, I think there lies the problem. A lot of things slows down and a lot of things don't happen the way maybe you wish to do, primarily because when we look at what I can do and versus what I can get done and what I can own and what I can, so there's so much more that is possible in the world. And of course, the profession that you are in is the most noble profession. I think the main purpose of the profession is to treat people and to treat as many people as possible in the world so that people don't have health problems. But at the same time, I think you need to also see the changing world, and in the changing world, what course corrections are required in the way you structure your professional life. Yes, sir. That was my point.
So can we have some inputs from our participants? Like maybe I think if you can, somebody can pitch in to make it more interactive. Are we on track? And maybe you can even give your comments so that it can become like a discussion rather than
Also, I think we need to also have a small disclaimer over here. Many of the discussions that we will do perhaps may not be aligned to your current thought process in many areas. But the whole idea of coming together and having a discussion is to challenge some of the thoughts that you've had with you. And it's not easy to change your thinking. But I think if you're open to it, so then what I keep saying that we should discuss things that you should be hearing and not what you like to hear. Because if we talk things that you like to hear, then there's no new learning. So definitely the objective of this meeting is to come and share some new ideas, something that you've never thought about. And see, it's very easy to keep defending what we know and think that's the right thing. But see, we are one person in a whole world of so many crores of people. So it's very important that we need to pay attention to what's happening in the ecosystem, how things are changing, and try and evolve along with that. So the whole idea is that we would like to discuss things that are actually going to help you a lot, but they may not be aligned to what you've currently been thinking. So one of the thoughts is that we'll require more participation to keep us energized for the next 2 hours. So if there's participation, we know that we are talking to people who are listening to us because everybody's face also is not visible over here. So my earnest request is if you participate, we will have the energy to give you more in this session and more to think about. And of course, we have not come only with problems, but we are raising certain problems and we have the answers to them.
I think mostly everybody wants to listen. So let's. So the next thought process is basically from whom we have been discussing recently, like Naval Ravikant, another great thinker of this century. So he says people spend too much time doing and not enough time thinking about what they should be doing. Let's say as a practitioner, we are spending too much time on treating patients and then doing surgeries and all those things. But are we really thinking about what we should be doing or what they should be doing? So maybe Dharmendra sir, if you can also, I think today we are going to talk about what you should be doing rather than what you are doing. And basically, as a self-employed person, majority of the time is consumed in your day-to-day activities, seeing patients, doing surgeries, and managing everything. But is that what we should be doing?
So
That
my
means,
so my question is to now I'll ask a question to get some answers. That yes, when we say you're sitting in front of the patient, you may say that obviously I should sit in front of the patients. I am a doctor and I have to cure patients. Okay, my question to you is that can you cure patients without sitting in front of patients? That's my first question. Any doctor over here can give me an answer to that question. I'll be very, very grateful. Can you cure patients without sitting in front of patients? And if yes, how you can do that? So how?
Sir, like
It is called telemedication.
teleconsultation is already started.
Pardon? Teleconsultation. Yes, okay. That's one answer. Yes, definitely. See, there are two ways of answering. You can speak an answer or you can even put it on the chat box, both ways. I just want to know, and this is a very, very important question I'm asking you, all of you. This is the question you have to mull over, you have to think over, ponder over. Can I treat patient? In fact, can I treat even more patients without sitting in front of the patients? Okay, and the second question, which is related, can I, if I don't sit in front of patients, will I be able to treat more patients versus if I sit in front of patients? In which case I can treat more patients? So that is something, like you said, telemedicine. Telemedicine is again, you may not be sitting physically in front of the patient, but on the other side of the call, you are still there. Okay. I am asking, is it possible to treat patients without you being there? That is what is the moot question.
So
So,
currently, like I don't think AI is there.
yes.
Like no, like there is no government government do not allow AI to treat. Otherwise, even AI can treat that
No, oh, okay.
because see,
But I'm not in that direction. I'm not talking about
okay,
AI. I'm not talking about
okay.
AI. I'm not talking about AI at all. I'm still asking the same question. Let's not get into the AI part at all. But
Okay.
that is not the question at all.
Hiring
Used
more doctors.
now see, we have some answers.
We can
Yeah, I
appoint
think somebody
doctors.
has come with an
Ah,
answer, hiring more doctors. I think
yes,
that's interesting.
yes. So, I think that is a scenario that you all should all think deeply about. Okay, that you can treat more patients by hiring doctors. And when you hire doctors, I think we also need to have the mindset of sharing the skills of that we have and enhance that the system works well. You all will have a lot of questions. Like you can have a question like, I hire 5 doctors, and the 5 doctors, I give them all my secrets. Okay, and they copy my secrets and then they run away or they go somewhere else and they start their own practice. That
That
could,
is the main problem, sir.
yeah. So it is like, I know your objection before I said that. So I know that's the objection, and I'll tell you what. In same thing happens in our business also, in the money management business. We also work through business partners. Okay, so a lot of people are scared to appoint business partners, thinking that finally they will take away clients and go away. Okay, but let me tell you one thing. If you approach this with the knowledge of creating a proper system, a proper process, and building a brand. Okay, now just let me give you a simple example which is easy for you to relate. One of the topmost brands in the medical fraternity is Apollo Hospitals. Okay, so now imagine, do you think Apollo Hospital, I'm giving an extreme brand of a very popular brand so that it becomes easy for all of us to relate. But there are so many brands which are not as big as Apollo, but then they are doing extremely well. So idea is that if you can build a system and you can build the processes around it, and you can create a strong team, and you work on your brand, then remember the patients walk in because they want to be treated at Apollo Hospital. By this time, they are not thinking so much about who the doctor specifically is. Okay, so that's the only way to scale up, because every doctor will age, every doctor will get bored, and every doctor will want something different to do in it, even if it is in the same area, or it could be in a different area also. So these are requirements as you age. Every decade you'll have different needs. So if you so this is something I would say you need to mull over and open up your mind to accept certain things, because okay, now questions are coming. Hiring doctors is expensive. Yes, again, when you're talking about hiring doctors is expensive and nurses, etc. See, this is again where we always think that we will have to pay their salaries. We will have to have the capital. You must understand that we live in a world today where there's a lot of capital with people. Okay, there are today people, so many people having 5 crores, 10 crores, 15 crores. They're put, so there is capital available. Okay, so it is not that, if you want to start some hospital or something, that's again something I've seen amongst a lot of doctors, that they all aspire to start a hospital. Now, one thing you must keep in mind, that being a doctor doesn't give you any advantage to start a hospital. Okay, that is the thing you need to understand. it gives you zero advantage to start a hospital. In fact, it may not even give you, it may be a disadvantage. So you need to connect with non-doctors. You need to collaborate with non-doctors. There is money over there. You need to raise capital. Okay, so hiring doctors is expensive, but can be done. Okay, but thinking has to be different. The path that most doctors think that, I will just save money and then make a building and then hire doctors and do everything myself. That path is definitely not going to be the path to create wealth. The path is more to do with leverage and using other people's time, other people's money, and other people's skill. So I would want Dr. Senthil to reflect on this a little more.
Yes, sir. I think we are now driving people on that thought process because generally when we start our practice, majority of the doctors think that their growth is going to be in one particular way. So let's say I start a small clinic and then I make it into a hospital and then maybe I retire. And so that's what is the life cycle of a general practitioner or an ophthalmologist. And only a very small percentage of them think out of the box and maybe think that, okay, how can I convert myself from kind of a self-employed person into an entrepreneur? And basically, the other common problem I see is maybe I have another question on that. We think that when we start an hospital, we are in the business of medicine. So, but I think that is a myth because whenever you start a eye hospital, you are actually self-employed. You are not running a business because that is not going to run without you. So once every day you have to be there, every day you have to spend time running that business. And then if you are kind of and the majority of the time we think that, okay, I started a hospital, now I'm in the business of healthcare. But actually that's not the thing. So we will cover it as we go forward. Let me put my next question. So basically majority of the time we are kind of earning with our time because I have to sit in the clinic from morning 9 to 1 and then evening 5 to 8. In between I do surgeries. So when you are trying to earn using your time or when you're trying to rent your time to earn, your growth is going to be flat. But when you are thinking of other ways, just like how we thought we should implement, how can we add more doctors? How can I convert my practice into a business system where even without me being present physically, it can give this thing. Majority of the times, I think doctors also, there is a common question like why doctors are not becoming richer. Because the doctors and lawyers, you can be one of the best doctors, but you are limited by your own efficiency. You can only do so many surgeries in a day, or you can do only see so many patients in a day. So you are basically earning with your time. But on the other hand, if you are a doctor who kind of creates a system, like if you are a doctor like Pratap Reddy who created that brand of Apollo hospitals, or if you are a doctor like Dr. Badrinath, or even people who own these chain eye hospitals, so they are now creating a business system which is going to earn money for them rather than they are kind of uh, using that time. So how do you convert yourself from earning using your time to earning using your mind? I think this is one of the most important slide of this 2 hour talk, and I think if you can understand this, and this is what we are going to see how you can earn with your mind. So if you are a doctor who creates a medical device like an ophthalmology instrument which can be used world over, or if you are a doctor who creates a software which can be used by everybody, or then you are actually earning with your mind. So 99.9% of the doctors earn with your time. And you cannot become rich and successful and wealthy by renting out your time. You can become successful only when you are earning with your mind. So Dharmendra sir, your views.
Other thing, obviously, I'll tell you 2, 3 things. It is not that we are saying that everybody has to start a brand and become a brand owner. It's not humanly possible. But one thing is, it's important that, if there are 100 doctors, you might all come together and create one big brand. okay, and you become owner of that brand. Okay, so it doesn't have to be one person doesn't have to own 100%. If there's 100 people and each one is owning 1% and you build a big brand, that 1% will be many times the 100% of your own brand. So one thing that you have to keep in mind. Second thing, which again completely defeats the skill game, is that in fact, the less you are seen, the less you are required, the bigger is your brand. Can anybody answer that on the chat box, how that works? The less you are seen, the more you are invisible, the bigger brand valuation you create. And as I said, 100 doctors can create one brand, and that 1% can be much valuable than 100% of your own thing. So you have to understand valuation. So if you are actually not in the scene, okay, or if you're not missed, you make a bigger brand and higher valuation and more wealth. Can anybody reflect on that? Why it is? Any one of you?
Yeah, and I think we should be spending more time on this slide, I think, because this is the crux of the
It will not
presentation.
be, it will, Anil Srivastav say it will not be doctor dependent. So what? Now, I agree with your point. That's the point I'm also making. So if it is not that doctor dependent, you are actually going to be wealthier with your own hospital. Why is it so? Why would you get more? And this is a very, very important point. Because, we are always taught to be number one, very skillful. But actually, it makes more sense to make other people skillful and protected by a brand which you own. So how does that happen? Other doctor and managers will be working. Yes, Anil is right. I think he has understood what I'm saying. Okay, so basically, if you build a brand and remember one thing, the outside world gives you a valuation. So when you buy shares in the market, what you buy is the share value. You are not buying the profit after tax. You are buying what the market values the share. So the market values it sometimes 20 times its PAT, okay, profit after tax, sometimes 30 times its profit after tax. So why does the market value you more? Because see, when you are buying something of Tata, something of HDFC Bank or something, do you ever think that who is running HDFC Bank or who is running Tata? You don't even think about it. You've taken it for granted that these are perpetual companies. Okay, so that is exactly why a individual human being needs to get out of the scene, because no particular name can be there forever. And if anybody is valuing you, giving you a valuation for your shares, that means he wants to buy something which will be there not now, but even after 100 years. And certainly we are not going to be there after 100 years. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is that if you are building something big, you can build with multiple people. There need not be 100 hospitals. There can be one hospital, many shareholders, and each shareholder having a small percentage, which actually will give you more wealth than having the whole thing. Okay, and as I said, you have to build something where you should not be required to be there all the time for the value to show up. The value should show up without you. So when you hire doctors, it's very easy to do it because doctors are employees and those employees can be replaced. And clients don't feel problem because the brand is what they go to. So that is how the whole corporate world works. Okay, it's very important. And I'm telling you this because I do the same kind of consulting for financial advisors who also practice like doctors. But now the same thing we tell them, like I was doing a session 2, 3 days back, and I found out that they are earning, some of them are earning like 10 lakhs rupees a month, but their total employee salary is like less than 1 lakh a month, while they are earning more than 10 lakhs a month. So these kind of scenarios don't, so when we hire a compounder or a staff, that is not called hiring. Okay, when you hire people who are as good as you or better than you, that is called serious hiring. And these are very difficult concepts to absorb, especially when you are a practitioner and you've lived for so many years thinking that I need to be the best. Okay, it's very difficult, but this is the secret to wealth. But this is not the only secret to wealth. You can continue practicing. You can continue practicing even at a low cost if you want to serve people. In that case, you should be a good investor. Okay, and if you are an investor, you are basically buying into companies that have margin, that have scale, and that have volumes. So it is not that everybody has to make a hospital. It is not that people have to come together and make a hospital. Those are the options. They are the different routes. But there is also a route where you say that I want to practice at a slow pace. I'm happy even earning less money, but then you should be a good investor because your investment can give you a cash flow, which is many times your practice. So you need to understand these things. So if you see today, I have seen there are a lot of people who have made lots of money and now they do things what their passion is. So for example, opening a cafe at a hill station. They don't make money. They don't make too much of money. They just make enough money to pay their cost, pay their people, and maybe a little profit on top of that. But these are people who have already made a lot of money. Their cash flows from their investments are helping them. So it is not that everybody has to open a hospital. It is not that everybody has to pace up. You can slow down also. But you need to understand that if I want to be wealthy, there has to be one of the formulas that you use. And one of the formulas is certainly that, you should have a good ability to invest and you should be a good investor. So if you are a good investor, you can choose to continue practicing at your pace till the time you wish to. So there are solutions everywhere. Only thing is we have to think a bit deep. But finally, I think all of us want time freedom, which is most important. All of us have a desire to do something in life, which may not happen at the age of 60. It may happen at the age of 50. Okay, so keeping all this in mind, we need to structure our lives because every 10 years you've lost means you've lost it forever. So I rest my case over here for this part of the slide.
Yeah, I think let me reflect the mind of the doctors who are listening to this, because majority of the time it's like a practitioner who is running a clinic or he is working in a hospital and then having a clinic or a small hospital. So he is thinking that, oh, what are these two guys telling? How do I apply this earn with your mind concept? Or basically, I'm now fixated to earning with my time. So as a small practitioner, I cannot become Pratap Reddy of Apollo or MyPulse Sachdev of Center for Sight. So how, as a small player also, how can I apply this concept to my practice? So how can I apply, how can I, see, I'm not a big person. I'm just a regular practitioner and I'm not a businessman or an entrepreneur. So how does this concept really apply to me? So how can I apply this concept of earn with your mind? So maybe can we elaborate a little bit more for this practitioner who's thinking this concept is beyond my reach?
I don't think this concept is beyond anybody's reach. It is the biggest, again, the biggest challenge in life for all of us is unlearning. Okay, if you're willing to unlearn, then as I said, nobody has said that you need to make a very big hospital. That's the only objective and one should have in life. But you need to have time freedom and need to have cash flow. And it is very easy for a doctor to create cash flow. It's very easy, and that requires little bit of understanding, little bit of listening, and also the next thing, as I said, partnering with non-medicos is a very important part. It's very, very important to give different perspectives. And collaboration is again a very, very important part. Okay, how to hire new doctors is a question that I think I can't answer. Only Dr. Senthil will have some ideas on that.
Yeah. So basically, I think just to elaborate on this concept of earn with your mind, let's say I'm a practitioner running a hospital. So basically, I can think of ways like, okay, I earn say 50,000 rupees every month. So, and am I investing this money properly? So I think even that is a way to use your mind to kind of start thinking about earning with your mind. So basically, let's say even if I make 10,000 rupees extra, am I investing it properly? Even I think that is a way to kind of think about earning with your mind. And maybe can I collaborate with somebody, as you said, like maybe a friend who runs another business. Can I collaborate with them, or can I join with another 3 doctors who are starting a hospital there and offer my kind of a service or my investment there? So he can kind of just by my contribution in that hospital, can I earn some more money? And so maybe things like that. Or can I create a small medical instrument or an ophthalmic instrument which can actually kind of give me perpetual income? Or can I create a software? I think a lot of ways to think of earning with my mind. Or can I invest in a eye hospital chain? Or maybe can I buy some shares of this large eye care chain? We don't have to have a lot of money for that, but can I invest a little bit of money? Or can I create a program for diabetic screening? Like, can I create some kind of a model? Or can I collaborate with the optical shop? I think lots of ways to think about earning with your mind, whether you're a small practitioner or a big hospital owner. I think if you apply and start thinking on those lines, this concept of earning with your mind becomes very clear. And that is the only way to have this. See, whatever we are talking is not about only earning money. I don't want people to mistake that we are focused here only on money, but basically it is about creating an enterprise, creating something which the world will pay for us. So basically, something which is not existing or something which is existing, but we create it in a better way so that people also get benefited out of that, and money is going to be a byproduct of that. And after, as per Mr. Dharmendra said, once you have that financial freedom, I think a lot of things will fall in place. You have this time freedom, you have a lot of freedom, which also can help you do other things in life. So I hope you have understood this concept of first thing is we have to understand, we have to accept that we are renting our time. We are earning basically majority of the doctors, 99% of them are earning because of renting your time. Your time is giving you the money. But if you think on the left side of this chart, I think this is the most important point you have to think about when you're kind of wanting to really achieve that success and be the smartest person, or achieve something really big in life.
Sir, I would also like to
Yes.
ask. I would also like to ask one more question to all of you. How much money do you think is required for a person today in India to live a lifestyle of, let's say, 2 lakhs rupees per month lifestyle? So whatever 2 lakhs buys reasonable amount of stuff every month. I would just want you to put a guess and put a number up there. How much do you think is needed so that you can, whatever be your age, and if you live to live in 100, how much, yeah, how much do you think is required for living your entire life? Okay, the same lifestyle we're living today. Let's say it's a 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs lifestyle. How much would be required? Can you just put a number over there? And you just put a number. How much? I just want to know what is in your mind, because see, this is where we go wrong. We sometimes think the number is too large, and then we go. So Dr. Manoj has started with 8 crores. Okay, I would like to have at least 10 people answering. There's 20 crores. Okay, I would like more answers. Please answer. This is going to make a big difference. Oh, we have 1 crore also. Okay, there's 20 crores again. There's 10 crores. Okay, okay. 4 crores, 10 crores, 10 crores. Now, this is a very easy question. I want more participation. A lot will depend on your answers over here. You will get the biggest enlightenment of your life today in the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Never imagine. But yeah, but still, what do you imagine now at this point? People are saying 10, 20, 30. So you put a number over there. 12 crores, 20 crores, 20 crores.
I think majority are thinking 20
Oh,
crores.
Majority are thinking 20 crores. Now, let me tell you, the biggest enlightenment will come to you right now is that the amount is not in the area of 3 to 4 crores. Okay, amount is in the area of 3 to 4 crores. Now, that brings me to the point that many of you would be having 3 to 4 crores already. Either it must be there in terms of a land, or it must be land plus money, or land plus gold plus money or only money. Most of you will be in the 3 to 4 crore you'll be having. Okay, now basically, which means that 4 crore, if you shut your clinic also and you live the same life, you will live it till the end of your life, even if you live till 90. Now, this is a big enlightenment and it changed my life when I realized it. Okay, and I'm sure it'll make a big difference because once you realize that this is the money that you need, then automatically you don't need to work for money. You start working for a purpose. Okay, now let me define a purpose to you. Now, that's a very important thing. We all talk about vision and mission. Okay, can anybody over here write an example of a vision? Can anybody write an example of a vision? When I say purpose, vision, can you give an example? Again, you will get enlightened at this point also. Now, you've already got enlightened. There's 20 crores, 12 crores has all reduced to 1/3. Okay, for 10, 12 crores, it has come down to 1/3. 20 crores is further come down. It's only 3 to 4 crores. Okay. So can anybody say, give me an example of a vision? No, example of a vision. I have a vision to do this. Can you give any example? No more? See, imagine all of us are working so hard every day, but we don't have defined a purpose or a vision. Because we are thinking that valuation to operate 10,000 cases per year, vision to serve everyone. Okay, these are good. Okay, fine. These are good visions. Okay. Making substantial change the work area or your interest. So this vision to serve everyone is a vision, truly. But tell me one thing, to build a medical college is a vision. Any vision in the world, any vision can never be done by a single person. So even if you are the best ophthalmologist of the whole world, you can't achieve a vision. Okay, to achieve vision, you need a team. You need something called leverage. You need people. So somebody, let's say several years back, people were crossing the river. They were swimming and crossing the river. Okay, everybody was swimming and crossing the river. You need to be a good swimmer. You need to be a good practitioner. But then one person thought that why can't I build a boat? Why can't I build a boat? If I build a boat, then more people will cross the river. So when he builds a boat, he needs the help of at least 30, 40, 50 people to build a boat. Then the guy thinks that now I want hundreds of people, maybe 200 people to cross over. So let me build a ship. Now for ship, he requires maybe hundreds and 200s, much more people to come together to build a ship. Then a guy thinks that why build a ship? Why build I want to build a bridge. Okay, I want to build a bridge. So all our visions, right from boat to ship to building a bridge are all visions. But every vision requires people to work with people. And who will work with you? If you can paint that vision in front of somebody else's eyes and say, imagine if we had a bridge, then you don't have to go in a boat. You don't have to go at a particular time when the boat starts, or you don't have to book a ticket for the ship. All you need to do is just cross over whenever you want to cross over. So if he'll rally people around that vision, and then they will also make a business plan, which of course will give them money also. And only then things get done. So basically the whole game of scale is rallying people around you, using other people's talent, using other people's time, using other people's skill, collaborating. Without this, wealth will never come our way. It may come for a fleeting point of time if you are a very rare doctor doing a surgery where you charge something like 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs with your margin being 9 lakhs or 8 lakhs, and you are able to do that for a long time. Not everybody doesn't do that. Okay, there aren't too many people, but if a few are there, they also will get tired. They will get bored of what they are doing at some point. And even if they do it, their life will become meaningless doing it every time. Okay, because they may not want to do it every time. Okay, and so the point is, it's very important to understand that we need to have a vision, and working with people, leveraging is the path to wealth, and hence a lot of unlearning is required. A lot of unlearning, a lot of early sacrifices are required. A practitioner always, he works with the intention of earning, paying off his costs, and making his margin as big as possible. A businessman and a entrepreneur always works with a project in mind, a vision in mind, and willing to put money upfront even if it means that he is putting money out of his pocket for a couple of years. And that is how the unlearning is required. So I think with this, I brought in a couple of new concepts. One is of vision, purpose, and second is leverage, which again, and I'll tell you one thing, that repetition is the friend of learning. So even if we do these sessions 10 times, you'll realize that both Senthil sir and I will keep repeating many things in different language with different examples. The there's no way we can come with 100 new ideas. Finally, it is a few ideas, a few wisdom points which are there. And they are all, we also have picked up from the great writers in the world. So it's not that, we've manufactured it, but we've just we have kind of surrendered ourselves to these kind of thinking, and we follow them. And hence we like to, our objective is to help you guys and with new thoughts. And as I think Dr. Senthil and I, both of us are financially free, clearly financially free, and we can live our life till God gives us life to live. So whatever time is left for us, his idea is to come and help and teach people. And as a consequence of teaching, certainly some amount of money will follow us also, which we don't shut our doors to that. But the point is, the larger point is, we work because of a purpose of teaching. You should also practice because for the purpose of practicing, and the money should come automatically and much more. So I would like to emphasize on this point, and I'll be very happy to get some of you all to reflect on what we are talking.
Yeah, I think we are in the middle of the program. We are almost 1 hour now. So basically vision, I thought I was also thinking what should be my vision or what should be the vision of myself and Dharmendra sir. Basically, I thought maybe to empower at least 1,000 doctors. So 1,000 doctors, if we can educate them on the financial prudence, and then if we can help them skill to scale, I think that can be a really interesting vision which we can have. And I think we're already reaching out to a lot of doctors, and so maybe some inputs from the audience. Because
There is one from Pradeep Reddy, sir, if you can answer him. Our mindset is to grow our hospital. And even if we hire good doctors, but their mindset won't be matching with us, they feel and work as salaried employee, how to manage and explain to them. So this is what Pradeep Shetty is asking. Would you like to answer this?
Yeah, I think first thing is we should change the mindset that they are going to be our salaried employees. Basically, that is the biggest, when we are appointing a doctor, why don't we think him as a partner? And because nowadays the biggest problem for doctors is because there is a huge number of corporate chains which are coming in, and they offer more salaries, and working in a corporate chain is considered more respectable than working with a colleague. So basically, we can overcome that problem only if we consider everybody as a partner. And if we have proven that we are somebody who will be also not seeing the other doctor as a competitor and seeing him as a partner to grow with. Basically, see, like even if you like, how do these auditors or how do these lawyers work, or how do these investment bankers work, is whenever they take in, they call them as a partner. They don't call them as an employee. When a junior joins an investment firm, he is always called as a partner. And why is he a partner? Because he takes a percentage of the salary, percentage of the profits which is generated by the company and also by himself. So I think if that mindset changes, that we consider everybody as a partner, and then try to reach that out to the doctors and really consider them as a partner. Think that, okay, if he earns more also, it's fine, but I can earn 20% from 10% of them. That gives me 200%. Let them earn 80%. Other ways thinking that the biggest problem is like we always think that, oh, he might cheat me and leave, and he might kind of start his own center. I gave this example of Dr. Debashish in Disha Eye Hospital, where there are so many doctors. I think 120 doctors who work in Disha, and each of them is considered like a partner, though the organization not in the theoretical sense, but they have that ownership of the hospital, and they get a part of what they earn. And it's like 120 small hospitals working inside a large banner. So if somebody can do it in Kolkata or West Bengal, I think it can be done elsewhere also. So I think it is the mindset change. I think we should discuss that on a separate topic, because today we are not talking about only that employee part. Maybe that can be taken up as a separate topic also. So
Sir,
let me go to the next slide. Yeah. Yes, sir.
on this particular point also, no, like how they will think. See, the responsibility is ours. We are the leader. So we have to inculcate the leadership quality of ensuring that they don't feel that way. And of course, no, nothing gets 100% right. As long as you are right 90% of the time, it's good enough. Some people will certainly slip out. Some people will not get motivated. Some people will not do the right thing. But for those some people, we can't stop. If we are able to inspire them, we look at things from their point of view. Finally, they are very important to us. Every employee is extremely important. All the doctors who are hired in a hospital, they are saving lives. So they are nothing less than the owner. Okay, so you have to treat them with that much of importance. Then they would, and of course, here and the part of entrepreneurship is you have to also handle some amount of failure. We have another question. Say it is easy, but a doctor to settle taking a lot of years to settle financially, also taking a lot of years, but guidance financially is a good idea. I think many times we, like all of you all were thinking 20 crores is the target. And imagine if you work with 20 crores as a target in mind, the next 10 years, you will not be thinking about employee or anybody. You'll only be thinking about yourself because the 20 crore has to come, and 20 crores doesn't come so easily. But the moment I made it 3 to 4 crores, and you realize that you had a land over there which you were not selling, sell off that land. If you're thinking there was a flat which I was not selling, sell it off, make it financial assets. You can withdraw money straight away from it, little every month if you want to. So the point is, many things we feel is very difficult, and we decide it is, we make it, we feel, and because we feel, we don't even want to ask anybody, and we are so convinced that that is the only right thing. And again, that is where the problem is. Okay, and that is confirmation bias. You will look for all friends who agree with you. Okay, so if I say real estate is good, one doctor says real estate is good, it gives great returns. He will search for all friends who agree real estate is good, and then they will form an opinion real estate. You have to talk to people who are outside your fraternity. I think my biggest message is connect with non-doctors. It's very important, very, very important. Only then, that's called diversification. That is called complementing. Okay, only then you'll get perspectives which are different. Otherwise, all of you will agree on the same thing and it could be the wrong thing.
See, I can also give, I thought, let me give some inputs as to how to connect with non-doctors. Basically, once we become a doctor, we kind of interact only with other doctors, and we attend only conferences of your own specialty. And maybe we consider that we should only talk with doctors. I think we have to change that mindset, because to have a different perspective, you need to interact with a lot of different kind of people. So how I did it was, whenever let's say even 10, 20 years back, once I became a member of this ophthalmology association, I also started becoming a member of all those business associations. For example, there is an association called TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs. There is I think TIE has got chapters all over India and even internationally. So TIE, when you go to TIE, you start meeting a lot of people who are different, quite different. Like you start interacting with software, you start interacting with auditors, chartered accountants, or even tech entrepreneurs, people who do import export. So then the builders, so you get a different perspective when you join that organization. The second thing is, there are also organizations like CII, Confederation of Indian Industries. So you become a member of the CII, you get to interact with all those people. Then maybe out of our own school friends, many of them would have now become, they would have been doing quite a lot of different things. I have a school friend who runs an educational company called Brain O'Brain, and I have a friend who is a politician. I have a friend who runs a college. So interacting with those people, you get a very different, because see, today, why is this session interesting? Because we are interacting with somebody like Mr. Dharmendra, who is like having a different mindset. So he is having a different mindset. So please hold on for a minute.
Yeah, so I think as till Dr. Senthil comes, I'll engage with you. So as I said, it's very important that you all look at different perspectives. This confirmation bias is a very dangerous thing, because what happens is you only tend to talk to people who are agreeing with you. And then what happens, that becomes such a strong point of view that you actually miss out on the good and the wisdom that comes your way. Okay, so it's very, very important to always connect with people who have a different perspective. And very clearly, as I said, all paths are open. But I think the most important thing is all of you all should have a corpus that creates cash flow for you. And that cash flow corpus will really help you to kind of open up to all the things that you wish to do in your life, and not that you have to do. So today we talk of financial freedom, which is basically I will practice because I wish to practice, not because I have to practice. And also, time freedom is a concept that you must have to must try to get that time freedom, because it's all time is limited. That's the real wealth for all of us in the world. Because there's no point creating a lot of wealth also at the age of 65, 70. So you need to know how to regulate your expenses, how to do what. So there are many things that are part of this.
See, I think in addition to interacting with the people who have different mindset, the other thing is you can also collaborate with a lot of people who have different mindsets. So basically, it is like I have a small dog, so it is coming and troubling me. So basically, it's like, see, let's take, for example, a hospital like LV Prasad. So why are they doing well? Is because they don't only collaborate with doctors. LV Prasad has got tie-ups with Microsoft or Google to create artificial intelligence. They collaborate with the industry to develop hardware. They collaborate with the government to create new projects. They collaborate with non-profits to get funding. So they collaborate with tech entrepreneurs. So it is not that doctors should collaborate only with doctors. Doctors can collaborate with a different kind of a lot of different varieties of people. So I used to say this example of this hospital in Barcelona, which wanted to create a marketing campaign. It's one of the largest pediatric hospitals in Barcelona, and they thought they were doing a research on how do they market their services to patients. So then what they generally, when a pediatric hospital wants to market, what they do is basically they will kind of run pediatric camps, they go to other hospitals, and all those normal ways of collaboration was what they were thinking. Then they got a different idea from somebody who said, like, why don't we collaborate with a bag maker? But why should a pediatric hospital collaborate with a bag maker? Because the most common problem with children face, just like in India, are they were lifting this heavy bags to the schools. And the pediatric hospital thought, why don't we address this problem, which is really a difficult problem, and every parent is pained by this. So they thought, let us go to this biggest bag maker in Spain and ask them to design a bag which will create less strain on the spine of the students. So then the bag maker created a bag with a special cushioning and all those things. And then the hospital co-branded with the bag maker that, see, now we are kind of working with this bag maker to kind of create less impact on the spine of children. So that marketing campaign became too much of a very good success. So it is not that a hospital needs to collaborate only with another hospital. The hospital can collaborate with multiple different industries, and more wider, more different, more unconventional are your collaborations. I think more reach will be in your life also. So just like how I could collaborate and relate with Mr. Dharmendra Satapathy, because he is a different person from a financial landscape, but he brings in certain strengths and I bring him this certain strength of network effect. And then I think both of us, this collaboration can help a lot of people. So I did Leonardo da Vinci create those wonderful painting because he had a lot of different collaborations. He was an architect, he learned architecture, he was an anatomist where he went and dissected human bodies, and then he understood the muscles and he understood the heart and everything. So he understood symmetry. He was a sculptor. He was was a military warfare specialist. He understood a lot of things about military. He used to design bridges. So why was his painting more popular than the other people? Because of his various collaborations. So as doctors, I think we should also collaborate with a lot of different people, start interacting with people who are not doctors, start interacting with a lot of other segment people. That will give us a lot of insight, which will help us to apply in our own medical practices. So I think that is also very important. Maybe I would like to, maybe is it interesting? Maybe the audience can give some feedback. It's like a one-sided discussion. If we can get some feedback, it will be motivating for us also to continue.
We have Dr. Manoj writing, what is the model path to achieve 100 practitioners come under one roof or brand? What is the model path? No, I think won't be any model path. You will have to, it need not be 100, you can also connect with 8 or 10, maybe even 4 doctors, and then you go to non-doctors after that. So let's say you want to start a hospital. But let's say to start a hospital, you need land. You can go to people who perhaps are having the capital to buy the land. Okay, somebody having capital, so you collect capital together. Today we think about I'll buy a land. I see many doctors saying I'll buy a piece of land, I will build a building on it. Actually, that's not how it should be. You should start a company. And the company should have capital. People should put capital. That capital will go towards building land. The capital will do everything. Everybody will be a shareholder over there. Because what is important in wealth creation is the growth, how fast you grow. It is not the margin that you make. Remember one thing, a company which makes 8% profit after tax can give you 20% return in the stock market. If it is a growing company, if it grows very fast, even a small margin can give you a lot of returns. So you have to understand that. So it is not, it's not always about size. It's not always having the highest share. You can have a small share. And what is important is speed. So today, if you see technology companies when they develop something, they come out with a beta version even when it is not ready, because they have to get to the market. So today, if you're thinking of setting up a hospital or everything, you have to go out and speed it up. You can't do a hospital for 10 years. You need to do it in 2 years' time. For 2 years' time, capital is available. So it is not 100. You have to go to people, and that is the job of the entrepreneur. But if you don't want to do that, there are other options. You continue practicing, but become a good investor so that you get a cash flow from there. So it is not, if you find a process to be too, there is a solution for everybody is what I'm trying to say. So it is not that everybody has to do it, but there's no point doing things in the wrong way. That is the dangerous part. So not doing the wrong things itself is a big advantage.
There is a question like how 3 to 4 crores can change it. If I have 3 to 4 crores, how does it give me that time freedom, and how can it change my life?
Do you want me to share a particular Excel sheet? I'll do it.
I can stop sharing this.
Yeah, I'll just quickly give an idea. If you give me to share how it can be done. Okay. You look at this. Now here is a person. Okay, here is a person who is 30 years old, whose lifestyle is 30 lakhs, sorry. Okay, so it's about 2.5 lakhs a month. Current age is 39. He plans to, we assume he'll live till 90. Okay, then freedom target means after 11 years, he wants freedom. His lifestyle after 11, on the 11th year will be 63 lakhs, which is 30 lakhs right now. Okay, and freedom is for 40 years after that. We've assumed returns at 14%, inflation at 7%. At that point in time, he requires 9 crores. Okay, now this person already has 90 lakhs. So all he needs to do an SIP of 1.8 lakhs, that's all. And he is there. Right? And every year wise, we have like these 11 years, he builds his corpus for 11 years and he consumes his corpus in the next 40 years. And right at the end, it becomes zero. So this is how it is. I'll tell you, compounding is such a magic. Einstein only has said that is the 8th wonder of the world. And I have learned every second month, third month, something new I learn from compounding. Okay, it is so magical. Okay, so I just give you an example. It's so easily possible. It is not so difficult as people think it is. And here is a person with a lifestyle of 2.5 lakhs. And now if your lifestyle is 2 lakhs, it is much going to be easier than that. If your lifestyle is 1.5 lakhs, it's going to be easier than that. So
I
this is
think
what
my next question also something relates to that. Why most doctors aren't rich? Because doctors are supposed to be the cream of society and doctors earn well and comes in lakhs. But why is that doctors are not very rich when they are old and older? Are doctors rich? Am I wrong in this contention, or why is a doctor not rich? Hello? Maybe is it a wrong question, or I don't know. So I think doctors aren't rich because majority of the time you are self-employed. You are not creating a system which will generate money. And second most important problem is basically we are misled by a lot of things, like because we don't have this financial knowledge, we don't have this business knowledge, but we are very good clinicians and skillful people, but we are not thinking about the business angle and the scale of things. Like we see a lot of doctors who make mistakes. Like we have, for example, 1 week back, there was a doctor who called us and asked, Sir, I was saved 1.1 crores and I already have a OCT and another machine which is generating me 3.5 lakhs a month. But should I now invest another 1 crore to get into that uh, buy the new equipment? But then we asked him a simple question: is that 1.1 crore going to increase his revenue on this existing equipments for how many more years it can work? He said it can work for 4 5 years, sir. But I will have this pride that I have this machine. But investing that 1.1 crores and getting a 14-15% result return would be more prudent. There are doctors who kind of over leverage themselves, get stuck with the hospital building. They take a huge loan to build a hospital and then don't have money to invest on the business. So that those kind of mistakes also happen. And then there are doctors who kind of get stuck with the insurance schemes. They just put money in insurance and then they are not knowing to collaborate. I think all these mistakes and too much leverage on real estate and not creating value. Like many of the times, if you're not creating a practice which is valuable for other player to acquire, and if your children are not doctors, then you don't have the money to you don't have the valuation. You work for something all your life, but suddenly after you, it has got no value. But on the other hand, even if somebody runs a pharmacy store or an optical store, he can sell it to somebody. But a medical practice which doesn't have a particular scale is not something really valuable for somebody to acquire it. And majority of the time, we also are pushed to make our children as doctors and then spend a huge capital on making them doctors. And I think these are the reasons which are why most of the times we are not rich, and majority of the times we work for the equipment companies and maybe for the real estate, and we don't have the financial knowledge which are needed. So that is why we thought on one side you need this business knowledge. Like say, even to accumulate this 4 crores, how do you accumulate? I think that comes from your practice. So you have to develop your practice on one side, and then once you have that money, how do you invest it properly? I think these are two sides of the coin and two important things which are important. And as Dharmendra sir said, doctors don't utilize this leverage of other people's time, leverage of other people's money, and all those things. I think once you understand these concepts, I think doctors can also be really rich and wealthy.
One more thing, when you say why most doctors aren't rich, I will also there are doctors who are rich. There are doctors who are earning very well, and I'm not saying as rich as the top entrepreneurs, but they are rich. They are people with crores. Or many doctors are rich. They were living. But the point is, are you rich in? One is rich on wealth, but do you have time on hand? Are you rich in time? That I think most doctors aren't. No practitioner is ever rich in time. He doesn't have. Then are you rich in your relationships? Because if you're going to spend so many hours practicing every day, it's going to hurt I mean, you may not be able to have the energy to maintain every relationship. Okay, so wealth is not just wealth of money, it's also wealth of time, wealth of relationship, and of course, wealth of your own health. Being a doctor doesn't is not an insurance that you will not fall. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. So all this takes a toll. And one more point I wanted to talk about was on delegating and outsourcing things. So you should always. There's a very nice quote I just had, and I want to just set the context with it. That focus on what only you can do, delegate what others can do, outsource what specialists can do, and eliminate what doesn't need to be done. If you want to really get benefit of the time that you have to outsource things. I have seen so many doctors, and it is like, imagine if there was a group of financial advisors and every day we were talking about medicines, that this medicine works well on you, this doesn't work, take a crocin, take this, take this antibiotic, don't take that antibiotic. This is exactly what I see in many groups where doctors are completely into discussing money management. I mean, either you are thinking that money management is, some child's book, which is so simple that anybody can crack it. So you are underestimating it something. And if you are not underestimating, then you are spending the time that you should really use for your own core capability. That time is getting spent on other things like money management, learning money management. So I am giving you a simple example. If per day you spend on money management. And many doctors say, I want to do it directly. I don't trust other people and I'll save money. I'll just give you some small mathematics, If you spend 1 hour also a day reading about money management and going through all those WhatsApp groups and learning different things, 1 hour of yours is, let's say, 4 patients. And 4 patients is 2,000 rupees. Okay, I'm just giving a simple example. 2,000 rupees a day is like almost 40 to 50,000 in a month. The same service is available for you either at 400 rupees a month to 4,000 rupees a month, depending upon your wealth. Okay, a month. And you are losing the same amount of money per day. Okay, so you need to understand that certain things which is done by specialists, delegate it to specialists. What has to be done, which is not a specialized job, delegate it if you don't have to do it. Focus on your core. Therefore, you have to hire doctors, hire nurses, give them what they have to do, focus on what's important, and that doesn't have to be done, just forget about it. I think this is a very, very important message that I would like to leave behind. And as I told you, I'm not here for business because I'm very comfortable if okay, but I think that these are small principles that if you follow, it will not only add time. So even that 1 hour spent, even if you don't practice, at least you can spend it with your family or just do what you want to do, watch a movie or listen to music. There's no need to go and study something else. Okay, because it's not easy. Let me tell you, if the whole world is following Warren Buffett and Charles Munger, and so many books have been written on money management, let me tell you one thing, it is nothing less, it is as difficult as medicine. It's nothing less than that. Even I'm a mechanical engineer and I'm an MBA in marketing, and I still did a CFP program, which took me 2 years to pass, and it was difficult. Okay, so don't take it too lightly. Don't do it yourself. It is like self-medication. I don't go to a doctor. I go to chemist, read Google, and take a medicine. If you think that can cure patients, then self-medication over here will cure you. You have to contact somebody who knows more. This is again, this message goes to all doctors and so many groups. I feel those groups are causing more harm to you, okay, than benefit.
I think it's not only financial management, whatever as per that 42 immutable laws of power in that book, they say like whatever somebody else can do for you, don't do it. Because if you want to be a real leader or a king, the king will not do things which others can do for him. Because the king is supposed to lead in front and fight, which other people can't do. They don't have that bravery. The king is somebody who is supposed to lead the country, fight for the country, and he is not somebody who should be doing this financial management or cooking or all those things. Whatever he does for entertainment, it is fine, but if somebody else can do, like if you have money to hire a driver, and why should you drive the car? Because if you give 20,000 rupees, somebody can drive the car, clean the car, and then you can use that time for some maybe texting or messaging or reading a book, which is more valuable, and than kind of thinking about why should I spend 20,000 to the driver. So I think even financial management, if somebody can do the job for say 0.8% or 1%, I think why should you do it on your own? Why should you think about doing something on your own? I think that mindset is also to change. And if a junior doctor can do the work for you, hire him rather than having you do everything by yourself, which is not scalable. I think these are the things. Apart
And
from that, we were talking about collaborating with different people. The other thing which is also important is reading books. I think, as Naval Ravikant says, even if you can read 1 or 2 hours per day, you become anything, not only your medical books, just things on management, philosophy, physics, whatever it is, you become a point, not 1% on top of the whole population. I think it is very important to read things which are quite diverse. I think that will also be really helpful to grow. I think the Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, I think majority of the time in their office also, I think every 3-4 hours, 3 or 4 hours of their time is spent on reading something, knowing something new. I think that is also very important for your growth. So yeah, maybe this next slide.
There is one doctor who has said that we would have benefited if we had met Dr. Senthil and Dharmendra because he's 50 plus. I think 50 plus is not at all late. Okay, and I started investing also when I was maybe 45 plus. But till 40, I was not investing correctly. Okay, I was putting my money in FD and PPF all the time blindly and not looking at anything beyond that. It's only much later I started doing it. So it is certainly not late. It all depends upon where you stand, and you have to have a discussion and figure out where you stand. It's not late. It's certainly not late. 51 is a very, very early age.
I think we can open up to the audience if one of you can unmute and tell us your thoughts. Basically, it's if you rather not type on the chat, but if you can unmute and
Yeah, we can get into a discussion right now.
yeah, so that will be interesting because if I feel like only both of us are talking on the phone, so we want the audience. Other audience, I think 52 people we can see. So one of you can, if you can unmute and tell maybe whether.
And also many of the things that we are talking, outsourcing, delegating, leveraging, vision, it is not what we are saying. We are not creating it. You can go to Google, you can go to ChatGPT, search those words. You'll get the same wisdom. So it is like, in a way, we are citing others only throughout the talk. And that is what Dr. Senthil has been continuously citing Naval Ravikant. So let's have a discussion. Why don't you all open up? Why don't you all share your views? I'm sure your views will not be aligned to us. It's not easy to change a thought process that has been created for so many years. But the only solution is to unlearn. And that is not only for you, but for me also. Okay, so we all have to unlearn time and again. Every skill will now the AI thing started in the beginning. I said we are not discussing really in the area of AI, but the fact remains that AI is going to become the most skillful person in the room. Okay, so we have to definitely think beyond skill. So we'd be very happy to listen to a couple of doctors, your point of view. It's a very positive program. There's a solution for, I've given you two enlightenment points. One is that 3 to 4 crores is more than enough. And second is you're not late. And third also, enlightenment point is that you all don't have to open a hospital. Even without opening a hospital, even going slow and relaxed, you're enjoying your job, you can still have unlimited cash flow in life. So many enlightening points have been shared today. So let's hear you.
So we want maybe one of you can unmute, and even the question which you want to ask, you can ask. We are not getting into specific questions today, like maybe hiring people. We want to give a generalized overview, and then maybe as we progress towards our next sessions, or you can always connect to us in person for those specific questions. I don't know why, if you can unmute, and we just want to hear some feedback. Are we on the track? Are we getting into your mind, and or is it boring? Should we stop it now?
Can you listen me, Dr. Senthil?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, one thing is clear that when other people smarter than you or working for you, then only you can grow. Simple
Yeah.
thing is that if you are working as a labor yourself, then
Yes.
all the channels will be blocked.
Yes.
So that is why you should work less and think more that how you can associate with other smarter people
Yes.
in the money management, in the medical management, in the surgery, in everywhere. If the smarter guys are with you, your institution will grow, whether it is a hospital or anything.
Yes. Yes.
When we hire doctors, usually we don't think of hiring a smarter doctor. We usually hire helper type of doctor.
Right.
That's why it doesn't go fast.
Right.
That is the key point.
Right.
We should hire a smarter doctor,
Right.
at least smarter than what we are.
Absolutely. And this brings me to what I was discussing some time back when most of the people who are financial advisors, they keep telling us that, we are not getting employees, we are not getting employees, we are not getting employees. So yesterday when I checked that how much money they make and how much percentage of their money they're putting towards employment, that amount became so low. It should be at least 20%. Okay, it turned out to be less than 5%. So when you are doing something wrong, how will you get good output? Okay, so you definitely, what you are saying is right. When you're hiring helper kind of doctors, it won't. Even when you see, when you're hiring people better, smarter than you, it never feel that the work is so much that you require multiple smart people to achieve an objective. And we are one part of it, and we will, because we have thought we are the leader on that. It's our picture in our mind. Smarter people won't stay with us. They also think, not really, ma'am. Smarter people will stay with you if they buy into your vision, if you are good to them. And if you look after them and inspire them, they will stay with you. Otherwise, Reliance would not be working, Jio would not be working, Tata would not be working, so many airlines, railways, nothing would be working.
I think the biggest problem, sorry sir, sorry to interrupt. Biggest problem with the doctors is we always want to be the smartest person in the room. So if you see, like let's say Wipro's Asim Premji goes into a board meeting, so he will not be the smartest person in that room. Basically, he will have more, at least 10, 20 people who are more smarter than him. Like he was running sunflower mills. What does he know about software? But he knows how to get more smarter people to work for him, how to create that business out of it. Or even I think Mukesh Ambani will not be the smartest person in any of the board meetings because I think he has got that skill to acquire more smarter people to work for him. But on the other hand, if you look at a board meeting of a hospital, the owner of the hospital is going to be the smartest person. As long as that doesn't change, I think things may not change in the whole thing. And very happy to see that now there is a change in thought process that as a doctor, I need not be the smartest person in my organization. I should hire more smarter doctors, more smarter business managers, and all those things. So I think definitely that is something very important. So now that we have spoken, now
Can
yes,
I
sir.
ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please.
One thing is how many doctors as purely businessmen calculate ki per square foot income, like if there's a mall or something, they will calculate per square foot how much is the income or how many footfalls are there.
Yes, true.
Is this the way, another way of thinking? Ki suppose I'm buying a place of 5-6 crores, I should have that many footfalls, or I must have that much income per square foot.
See,
Yeah.
this per square foot thing, it certainly is used in some industries. I think especially when you spend a lot of money in acquiring retail space in big expensive malls.
Right.
So it depends. It may not really relate to every business, but
Okay.
definitely in your business, what you need to see is that you are being able to generate some kind of volume, some kind of scale with the help of a team. And moreover, I think the biggest experiment that you'll have to do is that how I can get work done out of others. So that moving out of the main, being the main person, that I think is a simple step to start thinking that, and that is the most difficult to think, and that's the first point of unlearning, that I have to, I cannot be the main. The other thing that he said was smartest. See, the guy, you cover yourself, you surround yourself with smartest people, but because you did it, you become the wisest person. So try to be wise rather than smart. So the wise guy was Mukesh Ambani, who created so many smart people around him. Okay, so wise guy was also Narayan Murthy, who created such a great set of people around him. So I think we should think in terms of being wise rather than smart, because no system can work with one smart person. You require multiple smart people to work.
See, I think smart people won't stay with us because let's say Dharmendra Satapathy sir is smarter than me for sure, but why is he staying with me? Because I think I have got something to offer him and he has got something to offer to me, and he sees the value in the collaboration. So I think if you can create that value proposition, definitely smarter people will stay with you. Why is that smarter person wanting to stay with you? Why he should stay? Maybe he needs ownership, he needs equity, or he needs apart from money, he needs something.
Okay, then there are certain specific questions like Akshay Divate is asking. I think it's better that that question you can ask Dr. Senthil on a one-on-one. I think he's talking about. I have a question. What is the average investment one need before starting private practice? Also, should I go for second-hand instruments or new ones, microscope and others, and someone who is in the 30s to start a practice? Sorry. So this, I think, there are many, some of your questions could be such like, Dr. Manoj says, how to collaborate, individual practitioners come. It's such questions is best is, you take time and one-on-one if you ask, because your case and your thing, what is happening in the circumstances in your particular life will be very different from the circumstance of different people. So answering that question may not be relevant for many other people. So those kind of questions, I think we are open to take on a one-on-one also if required. Of course, the time we'll have to allot, it won't be, but we can certainly do that.
Dr. Senthil, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Ravi Kumar.
You're from where, sir? Where are you from?
I Dr. Erode, sir. Erode.
Oh, Erode. Yeah. How are you, sir? Fine.
Yeah, I met you in the state conference.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Son. Yeah.
Very, very useful, sir. Very, very useful. One basic doubt is what? We should extract work from other people. So we want a combined practice. The problem is, if you make the person as employee, they may not be so much interested to earn money. At the same time, if you give capital share, what will happen? It will be more of commercialization where many patients may not like it. So how to solve this hit, sir? Where to be the gray hairline is there between?
Yeah, so I will tell you.
It's very difficult to solve the situation.
I will tell you something, doctor. See, being a practitioner or a businessman, okay, is also a mindset. Okay, so you need to understand that the world runs smoothly with so many companies working, and majority of the people in the world are employees. Okay, there is something called an employee mindset, and I think Warren Buffett only has said that after opium, fixed salary at the end of the month is the biggest addiction. Okay, so please remember that there are very capable people in the world. They are so used to the salary that they get that they can't think beyond it, and that is how human beings are. Okay, that is how they have been, that is the nature of human beings. So never think that your employees will want to start practicing. It doesn't work. Even I didn't want to do business for several years when I was working as in a corporate world in Tata's. I was in Tata employee. I used to and I was in the marketing department. So I was meeting a lot of vendors, and vendors were all small businessmen. Okay, they would come in bigger cars also to meet me. Not a single day I felt that, I should leave my job and do what they are doing. Okay, because when you are getting a fixed salary at the end of the month, that's a huge amount, that's a big addiction. So not too many people, they don't envy businessmen. Please understand. A good employee thinks that he's smarter than you. He works with you as hard as you. He gets a free salary at the end of the month and he goes home aram se. Whereas you would take all the headaches of running the business. So he sees your job as a headache. So that is not at all a problem. As
I
long
think
as you
But
pay him properly.
we
no,
have
if
like,
you say
yes,
sharing the capital also, if you
Hmm.
say that is more encouraging, the problem is we may have some contentment in life, but they may not. So they may commercialize it, and it's very difficult to restrict them to be commercialized. How to solve this?
sir, actually, this is like a very specific scenario, like employment. I think that has to be addressed in a very detailed way. So maybe today's session, we are just trying to give the overall thought process, and then maybe we'll delve into the specific sessions slowly. Like maybe if this is interesting, we can get into one particular session, like how do you get other doctors under a common banner, or how do we collaborate among doctors? I think that can be a separate session only. So
Okay,
maybe
sir.
there are a few more slides. I think we have another 15-20 minutes. So now that we are having this inspiration after hearing this talk, or maybe we are inspired to do a lot of things, but what happens majority of the time, inspiration is also perishable. So today let's say I and Dharmendra sir decide to write a book, we are inspired to write a book. But if we give it time, if we don't start immediately, I think within 1 or 2 months, that idea runs out of the mind. Or you decide to do something after this session today. But if you don't take immediate action, I think that will lead to inspiration is kind of perishable, and you also lose focus on what you have to do. So basically what they say is, execution, you can be impatient in execution. If you want to do something, do the execution immediately, but you be patient for the results. So you can be impatient for the execution, patient for the results. So once you are inspired to do something, okay, I want to do a financial planning for myself, or I want to add a more doctor to my practice. I want to talk to, I see a lot of latency or in our thinking also. Many doctors kind of message me, they'll say like, sir, can I have a talk? I want to talk to you about some particular aspect of my practice. Then I say, okay, you call me at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So they will, at 12, they don't call me. And then they're inspired to call, but they don't take action. And then I wait till 12:15. I cancel my other things to wait for their call. And then after 1 o'clock, they'll say, sir, I was stuck with my patient. So you get inspired to do something. I think majority of the time, if you don't take action, you're not able to do that. So be impatient in execution, but patient for the results. I think there might be an alternative view. Should I do study, and should I understand that whether this will work and all those things? But I think majority of the times we don't know what will work and what will not work. Even the best of the businesses were just started on some inspiration, and then they followed it up to execute. So I think another important concept we have to drive through is that inspiration is perishable. If you are inspired to do something, if you want to do something, take action immediately. So a majority of the time, doctors don't have that. We get inspired, but we don't take action. Dharmendra sir, your views.
Yeah, I think absolutely right. I mean, if you don't take action, like look at investing, if you don't start on the right time, then you don't make the wealth, because time is the most important ingredient for creating wealth. Just to give you a statistics, in a 30-year wealth creation cycle, the first 10 years contributes 75% to the wealth. The second 10 years contributes 20% to the wealth, and the last 10 years contributes only 3 to 4%. So if you are inspired, taking action is everything. Even if you do it not so well, still you need to do it. That's most important. That's famous line of Nike, just do it.
So the other common misconception is when I start a hospital, I think I'm running a business. I think we discussed this point before also. The difference between a self-employed person and entrepreneur is that entrepreneur creates a business system where he can create wealth and money even without working day in and day out. Like as Warren Buffett said, if you are even if you're sleeping, you should be earning your investment or your system should be earning money. So I think basically, if you are running a hospital and you are working in it, I think you are still a self-employed person. You are no different from a lawyer or an auditor. But I think that in differentiation also you have to understand. So this is another concept, I think, also from Naval Ravikant, like actions and results. Maybe Dharmendra sir, you can explain it in a better way.
No, this is like it is talking about when you take action, the results later on, and this is the most important thing when it comes to the area of money management. That and I'll just give you the analogy of your profession and money management. As a doctor, when a patient comes to you, you give him treatment, you give him medicines, you give him some treatment, and he comes back after 5 days. Most of the time he is okay by then. So you see your results in 5 days time. The problem with money management is whatever action you are taking now, okay, the results will be after 10 to 12 years. Okay, and those 10 to 12 years will never come back. So sometimes, just thinking that today I am, what I'm doing is right, and you not unlearning and not listening and just doing what you want to do, the results will be after 10, 12 years. And how wise you take the decisions right now is the kind of results you can experience. So actions, results come much later. You have to take the action across this time period.
Yeah. So why do doctors find it very tough to outsource, like even finance or even getting other doctors? I think it's basically the mindset. If you change your mindset, I think you can outsource. And you have to understand that you cannot do everything by yourself. You can only do, as an individual, you can do only certain things. And as a team, you can do a lot more. I think that is also another important point which we have to understand. And why do we don't collaborate with this? I think this is one of the most important slide. I want all of you to kind of understand when you're renting your time, when you're working for somebody. There was a question about should I work for the government or should I work for a corporate, or let's say you're working for a corporate hospital, you're working for someone, you're working for someone to create his brand, his IP, and his valuation. So I think from moving on from that, you have to start owning a piece of that business. Either you get equity. I think only if you want to be wealthy, you have to think about equity. You have to own equity in every kind of business. As long as you're an employee of a corporate hospital or a government, you are paid by the hour, and you're just your earning is only going to be linear. You're not going to have an exponential growth. If you are wanting to really become wealthy, I think you have to become own equity. So Dharmendra sir, I think you can explain this better than
Yeah.
me.
See, when I told you in the beginning that there is margin, there is scaling, and there is volumes. So let's say the business like which I do, okay, our distribution business of financial products, our margins are very low. Okay, so that's what I was telling you, if a person does an SIP for 1 lakh rupees, okay, and that is 12 lakhs rupees in a year, okay, so 1 lakh a month. My company earns only about 400 rupees a month, just 400 rupees a month. Okay, but why is this business good? This business is good because it is a scaling up business. I don't have any physical product. I don't need any logistics company. Everything is online. Everything is digital. So scaling up, I can reach anywhere. And people have lots of money. So the volumes also come. So that is how you analyze. Now, there are a lot of businesses also in the market. Okay, like you have technology companies, you have Hindustan Levers, you have power companies, you have AI companies. Many of these companies will be having huge amount of scalability and growth, tremendous growth. Now, how can you be part of that journey? So when you become an investor, Okay, like let's say your own business may not be a business which is scaling up that fast and which is having that kind of volume, but that doesn't matter. As long as you're owning those assets, like you're doing an SIP and you're owning those assets, a time will come that that asset will be so big that it will give you more money than what your practice gives. And that is what we call as financial freedom. So whatever you are doing, it could be a, and what I told you in the beginning also sometime back, there are a lot of people who have financial freedom. They are choosing to do a business which they love to do, but that business does not give them a lot of money. So I give you the example of a cafe owner. There are some beautiful cafes in Mumbai. If you go and have a cup of coffee and you come, whatever you pay for the coffee and for the pizzas and all that, and the way the person maintains the place, the way he has done it so well, and the amount of employees he has and the quality that he gives, no way he could be making a lot of money because it's not a scaled up thing. It's a small thing. Few people come. So he must be making a reasonable amount of money. But that person has already made money. He has a second source of income. He has a lot of wealth. He has a lot of assets. So sometimes, it's so interesting that in life, if you have a desire to do something, let's say I have a desire to go to Uttarakhand and set up a cafe over there. Okay, if I have enough cash flow with me, more than enough cash flow with me, I can certainly go and live in the hills and run a small cafe as long as I don't run it at a loss. I'm happy. Okay, so like today we run the company Next Level Education. I don't take a salary from that company. I just do it because it's my passion to educate. Okay, so and I'll continue doing it because I have other source of income. And but my identity comes from Next Level. That is an education company. That's my identity. But that is still not my primary source of income. In fact, I don't take income from that. So I think we need to change the way we think. Okay, rejig the way we think, because what was happening 20 years back, there was no scale up 20 years back. Okay, and things are now very different. And that is why sometimes you see small people, small retailers, small shopkeepers really making a lot of wealth. Okay, so this is where we need to sometimes recalibrate and talk to people and recalibrate our goals, relook at things, and ask ourselves what is our objective or our purpose or our vision, and then recalibrate and move on. So that is what I would say over here. So you need to own businesses that have all these things, that have margins, that have scale up, that have volume. You can own it. Just you need to be a good investor. That's it.
Yeah, I think once you become, there are two ways to become own equity. Either own equity in your own business or maybe partner with somebody to start a eye hospital where you have this equity. Third part is you become, once you start investing in a mutual fund or shares, I think you own a small piece of that company. Like if I have shares of say 500 shares of Hudson Agro or MRF, I have 5 shares of MRF, meaning I own a small part of that company. I think wealth is created when you become owner of equity rather than being an employee. So one side, I think what we should dwell is you can be an employed person, you can become a self-employed, you can become a business owner, you can become an investor. I think all those four you can also do together. It's not that you have to be only an investor or you have to I am employed, I cannot run a business. So a lot of permutations and combinations are possible, definitely. Like if you think that is that way, it need not be that you should be one only. Like I can work in a hospital, I can also have a evening clinic where I'm self-employed. I can invest in a business where that system creates money for me, or I can even be a part of a business where I suggest, give advice, and then so it's like as that Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, you can be everything also. It's not that you should be only an employee or only a self-employed person or only an investor or only a business owner. I think it's possible. What we are trying to drive is that you have to own equity if you really want to be successful and rich. So I think the other thing is why doctors die young, because you are mostly self-employed and you're working financially stressed out most of the time. And then that is the reason I think we, in spite of all those hard work, I think doctors don't deserve to die 10 years younger than the general population. I think doctors deserve to live longer. And once you apply all these concepts, I'm sure you can definitely live longer, live with the time freedom and everything. So I think we have another 5 minutes. Let me finish with a small story. I tell my father's story of a gambler who one day hears about a race with only one horse in it. So because there is only one horse running in it, I think he bet all the rent money on that. And still it is one of the safest bets, but still there is halfway around the track, the horse jumped over the fence and ran away. So nothing is assured in life. Things can always change, and I think it is only the present moment which is important, and we cannot be thinking about the past or worried about the future. But I think there is always a small amount of risk in everything, and even if there is only one horse running, there is a possibility that you cannot win. There is a lot of other things like your own circumstances, the luck, and a lot of things are there together, just like other things. But still, I think we have to do what we have to do, not worried about the results. And I think life will go on. And maybe we can have one or two finishing questions, and then I think all of you have contact of me and Dharmendra sir. And if you would like to address some particular topic, I'm sure there's so many questions which have come, but we are not able to address all those questions. But hopefully we can have separate sessions for all these. And we are also conducting this Health All conference in December in Hyderabad, in HITEX, where we will have different kinds of workshops. We are planning 3 days of around 12 workshops, right from Dharmendra sir's workshop to financial management in hospitals, insurance. So if you're running a hospital, I think definitely a small or large hospital or a clinic, I think it is going to be very helpful. I shall be passing on information about this Health All event, and we have been doing it for ophthalmologists for the last 7 years, and I'm sure this time we want to do it for general practitioners and even any other specialty doctors. And looking forward to interacting more with all of you on our Invest Doctors group. And thanks for everybody to have joined today. I think we had almost 50 people who are together for almost the last 2 hours. And one or two questions, and then with the closing remarks of Dharmendra sir, we can complete the session.
Senthil sir,
Yes,
Senthil sir, it in the busy world, nobody is these informations you cannot get anywhere, sir. Really, I really are thankful. Really, very useful program what you are conducting, and all the WhatsApp message what you are saying is very useful, sir. Please do the best. Really very useful for the youngsters also. Dharmendra sir, your talk also very nice. You are widely covering both professional ethics as well as what do you call peace of mind, how to maintain the peace of mind also. You combined everything. Really fantastic, sir. Very useful. We want to continue learning from you, sir. Please continue, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Senthil, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
One or two more remarks or questions, and then we can complete with Dharmendra sir. Thank you, Dharmendra sir, for your time. And I think it went on very I think we have never discussed this. It could have been a surprise. I think the slides also you're seeing for the first time, but I think it went on very smoothly and flawlessly. Thank you, sir.
I think we are aligned on philosophy. So slides, as I said, repetition is a friend of, learning. So even next time we do, we will be largely talking similar things. And that is why they are the truths. If we talk different things every time, they won't be the truth. So, I would just like to say 2-3 things that, it is not that every doctor has to make a hospital at the end of his life. It's not required. You can, if a doctor is happy the way he's practicing, he can do that also. If a doctor is happy earning less money, he can earn less and we can be happy. What you need to do is to manage your money well. So you can, as I said, there are people who open cafes and earn less because they have the money in place and they have their cash flow. So the second source of income, like the second horse, like the one that is, you require more than one horse, and that's very important. So you have to have cash flowing from 2 different sources at least.
Yeah. So I think it is important that way. And even you don't have to be whatever we are trying to drive is that it's not that you have to be financially successful. You can be successful even without earning money. So somebody with, you can be a very unhappy person with 10,000 crores, and you can be a very happy person even with 10,000 rupees. I think that is all in your mindset and other things. And thank you all for joining today. And please pass on your feedback. You can always WhatsApp me about the program. And if you want to connect with Dharmendra sir also, let us know. And have a good weekend, and see you on one of our next sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.